Namaste. Welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sadhana, and I am here an hour early this week for my usual Friday tarot chat. And the reason I'm early is that I am doing a series of prompts for Kwanzaa, and I'm just trying to fit everything together. And I wanted to partake also in Pappa Squirrels Vlogmas. And this today is the final 11 prompts for Vlogmas 2021. And so I'm going to share with you my responses to these prompts. And if you would like to join in the chat and share some of your thoughts on these prompts as well too, that would be wonderful. So hello, my name is Sadhana. I'm an intuitive reader and healer, and a lover of all things metaphysical. And this is a really nice time on Fridays to get together and just chat with you about cards and decks and crystals and things that we're going through. And so these prompts are a little bit different this week, but there are a few prompts that will take us into cards and other reflections as well too. So thank you. Thanks for being here. And those of you that join in later in the replay, please feel free to add some of your reflections in the comments below. And know that I will also be back on in the next hour as well too, to do one of the segments of the Kwanzaa reflections. So I'll be back at 12 noon doing a spread for the fourth day of Kwanzaa. Even though it's not the fourth day of Kwanzaa, I'm a little bit behind in that. So welcome. Hello, Andy. And thank you so much, Andy, for joining in the Tarot Through the Chakras course. I will send you your link soon. Okay. I have created banners for all of this. And also I want to say that I've really enjoyed, there's been a lot of people on TarotTube that have been participating in this. And it's been kind of fun to, and I know short video responses to this are probably optimal, but we're doing a whole bunch here today at the same time. So I just want to check all of my settings and then we'll go ahead. Okay, Happy New Year to you too. All right, so the first prompt talks about traditions. And I want to talk to you about some of my family traditions, some of the other things that are going on as well too, new traditions, old traditions. And so this prompt would have been on the 21st of December, so going back to pre-Christmas and so forth. And one of the things that comes to mind is baking. Baking has been a really important tradition with both of my mothers. And those of you that know me know my story of reconnecting with my birth mother long time ago, so 28 years ago. And since then, both of my mothers have passed, the one that I grew up with and the one that gave birth to me. But both of them were avid bakers and they loved the tradition of Christmas. And so baking was a big deal. There was also this connection of community. So my mother always got together with a group of friends and made antipasto. And so the traditions of Christmas were about connection and in every way, the preparation for Christmas as well as all of it, right? So we had a house full of people before, during, and after, all the way to New Year's Day. And it was lovely. It was lovely. And I just received, hi, Mary Beth. Hello, Julia. Welcome. I just received an email from my mother's brother, birth mother's brother, and on Boxing Day. And he was talking about the tradition of Boxing Day. And it was a day that he always looked forward to because there was a busy house of people dropping by. People used to have things called open houses. And my parents had open houses all the time, and people were coming and going, and there was at least 2 open houses during the holiday season. And so for me, the biggest tradition of Christmas are anything really that creates connection. And usually it's preparing and working and doing things together. And I have carried this on. I mean, I have 4 children, and they all are pretty handy in the kitchen. And when it comes to big family gatherings, we really do pull together. It is, I like to make intricate recipes, and the kids are great at slicing and dicing and taking over and saying, "Mom, you go sit down. We've got this." And so it's beautiful to get together. So, yeah. So cooking, baking, cooking. And there are so many. There are so many. One of my favorite things is after we open gifts on the 25th in the morning, is that we go out for a walk together. And this year it was me and my partner and the four kids and their partners. And we had a lovely walk in the snow. We were blessed with a white Christmas this year. And it was just really fun taking family photos and so forth. So Mary Beth is lurking, and that's great. I'm just reading your comments here. Your mother was a great cook, but not a baker. Yorkshire pudding. Ah, yes, the polishing of silver. So my mother's mother, that was always a big deal, the silver. And I don't have the family, excuse me. It's not a great thing to be doing on camera. I don't have silver, but yes, I remember the procedure in taking care of the silver. And if any of the forks came out, it was always the fork tines that seemed to get a little bit black. Yeah, I totally forgot about polishing silver. That's funny. That's funny. And the dishes. I don't have a set of Christmas dishes, but I remember the good dishes always coming out, the good this and the good that. Decorating is always really something too. So the house is always fully decorated for Christmas, and lots of lights and special ornaments and things like that. Yeah, it's really lovely. I didn't know you were a veggie, Mary Beth. Hello, Clevis. Welcome, welcome. So please feel free to respond to these prompts um, in the chat if you feel so inspired. And I'm sure I might come back and some of the prompts will inspire other ones. But I'm going to go through because I'm going to be on for about 45 minutes, and then I'll be back for Kwanzaa. So the next one is all I want for Christmas is, this one's easy, peace. Peace. I want harmony and peace, and not so much solitude, but just that calm serenity of you know, nothing's nobody's nobody's worried about anything. There's no tension, and that's all I that's all I want. That's all I want is calm and quiet. Things have become a lot different. My energy has really shifted in the last few years. I kind of used to thrive on the chaos and the boom boom boom, but I really like it when things flow a little more smoothly these days. And so I think it's not just Christmas, but I'm looking for that peace in many different ways. Peace in my heart, peace in my environment, peace and calmness outside as well too. Yeah. I don't want any stuff. I don't need any decks. I don't need any clothes or gifts like that. I just want calm. Yeah. Did I receive any gifts? Any major gifts? We had we've really scaled down the present giving in my family. And since I have moved to this house, which was 4 years ago, we have been in the tradition of making homemade gifts. And so I've been making beeswax candles for some time. And so that's kind of my thing. I'm doing molds and rolled candles and all kinds of things. And the kids all make their own thing. And so we've been exchanging homemade gifts. And it's really lovely because then there's a lot of love that goes into each of that, which is really kind of um, the prompt for the next one as well too, because I feel like if a gift has your time and your love, your magic is in there and it's felt and it's carried through. So there's something really special about homemade gifts, and I'm looking at them all over my house. There's all kinds of things that people have made, and not just at Christmas. I've I've been a crafty person my whole life, and I've kind of passed that down to my kids, and they're all really good with their hands and their creativity and their imagination, and so I'm really, really impressed with their ability to create and so forth. And my one of my daughter's partners has a no waste, um, natural organic business. So it's an online store where you can buy um, powdered toothpaste and bamboo toothbrushes and bars of soap that act as shampoo and things like that. Um, and I've shared lots of things about my daughters, right? So there's a real environmental lean as well to our lifestyle. Yeah. Hello, Dee. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see other people remember the good dishes. Um, isn't that true, Clevis? It's there's something in the giving, because it's like giving a piece of your heart. Yeah, yeah. I am not doing readings, Kay. What does this year have for myself? Thank you. Yeah, I'm not doing readings. We're just having a chat. I'll be back on Tuesday to do readings if you'd like to come back on Tuesday. Okay. So the 24th prompt, so this would have been the Christmas Eve prompt. What is the best memory of this holiday season? What is the best memory of this holiday season? Well, I've been on my own. I've been on my own for a long time, and the 7-year cycle was broken in February 2021. And this is going to come up in another prompt as well, too. So in February 2021, I met my current partner. Well, I didn't meet him. He's a neighbor, and so I'd seen him many times and talked to him many times. But that was our first time we got together as a date, if you want to call it that. And so my best memory for this is to experience it with a partner again, a loving partner. And we had a special time on our own and a special time with his parents. And so it's been, and I was really it's so nice for me to have a new set of parents, because all of my parents have crossed over. I don't have any living parents. And so that was a really beautiful gift for me to connect with that aspect of another generation again. So yeah. So that was a really good memory, was having dinner. We had a Christmas Eve with my partner's parents. Yeah. Okay, where are we? 24, the 25th. So the Christmas Day banner is not banner, the Christmas Day prompt was today. So let's talk about today. So not necessarily Christmas Day. What am I grateful for today? Well, I am there is a there's a feeling. There's a feeling about coming on and connecting with the community on YouTube. And many of you have been following me for some time. There is, and even though I don't get to see your faces unless you're in one of my classes, but many of you I do. Some of you, your little faces are in your profile thing. Um, I'm grateful for this space, and this is a really special space for me. I love to share, to talk, to connect, and so what I'm grateful for is you. I'm grateful for you being here, and whether you're going to show up in a few days or a few months and make a comment down below, I'm grateful for all of you as well too. There've been some really beautiful connections, and I know a lot of these prompts are going to connect, but some of you have taken several of my classes, and we've gotten to know each other, and we have shared things on different levels. Like we were doing a book club in the Facebook group, and it was a tiny, tiny little group. We had sometimes one person, sometimes four people, but we had some really heartfelt conversations. And so today, and today I'm just feeling that. I'm feeling that connection. So I'm grateful. Thank you. Hello to Donna. Welcome, Donna. Okay, so now we get to cards. And I'm happy to show what I have on my table here. This is a funny question. Because I don't tend to feel this way about stuff. Like what tarot deck has gotten me through. I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't feel so attached. I mean, I really, really enjoy, I have a tremendous love of cards, love playing with them, reading, doing the work. But I don't think it's the cards that get me through. And I'm so very, very happy and excited about the deck that I'm using for the year, for the card of the year readings. And this is where am I going to go? This is the Sister Oracle deck. Why don't I put the other camera up? That'll be better rather than holding this. It's very awkward holding cards. Okay, so let's do this. I should know how to do this by now, don't you think? This is the Sister Oracle. This is the wisdom of the sacred bee. And I can show you the tarot deck as well too if you don't have it. And Andrew, Well-Tempered Claire, asked me, he said, what is it about this deck that you like so much? This is the Oracle, not the tarot. And I think it's just a combination of all things that really speak to me at this time. What speaks to me is a presence with nature. There's something about the colors in this deck. The intensity is really something. And I love in this oracle that we also have suits. Not too many oracle decks do that, and that's one thing that I really like. And granted, this deck came very late in the year, but it makes me really happy to look at it and work with it. I can show you. I've got the majors. I've got this all separated out for the readings, but these are the majors. Here's our card for 2026, the Lover's card, which has two females and an angel on it. A Chariot card with a horse in motion. The Hierophant card has a Murti, a Buddha. There's something about this deck that really, I feel something very, very special. Way back, many, many years ago, I had oh, Donna, I'm going on a little bit later with Kwanzaa as well too. So I'm going to be on for 2 hours. I've had some very special connections and messages about bees. And so when I saw the Kickstarter launch for this deck, I knew that it was going to be an important part of my life. And I don't know if it's the whole experience of the bee. And when I first came to this house, there's a linden tree in the backyard. And that first summer, I was really confused because I I didn't know what I was hearing, and there were so many bees in the linden tree that the buzzing was so loud I couldn't figure out what it was, and it took me a little while to do that. So hi Kyle, Liz, welcome. So I'm still getting to know it, but it's pretty powerful. And if there was another deck this year that um, I don't know, this one's pretty special. I will do a video of top tarots of 2021, which I haven't prepared yet. So this is one that's definitely a 2021 big impression. Yeah. Okay. Turn that over so I know what I've got here. Let's go to 27. Next banner. All right. What were my biggest wins this year? This, again, this is interesting. One of my biggest wins was, I guess I have to include my partner. That was a win, if you can consider that a win. Another big win, the Tarot 2020, the Tarot 2021 group. That was a big win. That was, and who's in the chat that was in that group? I'm just going to go back to the comments. Mary Beth was in that group, and I don't know if there's anybody else in the chat that was in that group, but we met every Tuesday. That we had a few breaks in between for 22 weeks. We've had a few extra bonus classes along the way as well too. And there's really something about that long-term connection. It also gave me a chance to revise some curriculum and think about, I talk about all the time, these books that I'm writing and different things and tarot decks that I'm creating, and whether anything I ever do gets published is another, I don't know if it's neither here nor there, but I part of me loves to create content. And if I ever take a sabbatical and have time to put all this content together, I will one day publish a book. But the group really helped me more deeply contemplate to what it is I want to create. So that was pretty special. Yeah. And of course, my lovely partner. That's definitely a big win this year. Okay. Yeah, this is a beautiful deck. And I probably will talk about this deck when I do my tarot decks of 2021. And it's going to be and I trimmed mine. You've seen it. You've seen it. Anyway, let's wait for the other video for me to talk about other decks and so forth. Is it little leaf or big leaf? The leaves are about that big. So I don't know how little leaf means. So the leaves are smaller than a standard tarot card. So you let me know if that's little or large. Oh, Selena. Soul trees arrived a few weeks before my cat passed, and it was the healing that my heart needed. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Yes. That's beautiful, Dee. Beautiful. Okay, where are we at here? I'm going to go to 28. 28. I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm looking forward to. I'm part of who I am and how I am these days. I don't tend to look too far down the road. Of course, I do have long-term plans, but for 2022, I've set a bunch of things in motion as far as my work goes. I have established some um, intentions for different activities and things that I'm going to be doing. But I'm looking forward to continuing to be productive and active. And maybe this is kind of a spontaneous thing, but maybe it's about writing a little bit more. Interesting. I didn't prepare any of these, but now I'm thinking, and I can see myself creating some space for that. Maybe a day, a week where all I do is I go into my wherever my space is and get some writing done. Maybe 2020, maybe 2022 is the year I put something together. Okay. Number 29, intentions. Maybe we could talk just a little bit about that word goal. When I think about goal, I think about an end post in a game. And the it's not really a word that resonates with me. And I'm very sensitive to language, very sensitive to language. And it's important that the words, so I can say intentions, um, but I'm not one who looks for results. I'm really a person that the journey is really, really important. And there were some intentions last year that didn't, I wasn't able to carry through. I didn't have the commitment or the time or the organization to carry through with them. And one of them was a Shakti Sadhana that I didn't I didn't get done. I didn't do. I started, but I didn't seem to have the space for it. So perhaps what my biggest intention for 2022 is to prioritize the most important things in my life for me and my own personal growth and not overshoot. Because if I overshoot, then I don't really get any of them done. So I think maybe one of my best things that I can do over the next couple of weeks as I'm planning my year is to reduce the number of personal expectations or personal intentions so that I mean, I have some established things that are just they just happen. But there's a few things I would like to introduce, and I think part of that might be just reducing the quantity of things that I want to do and going back to the ones that I have said again and again and again I'm going to do. If I could get one of those, if I could get one new practice carved in stone, that would be fantastic. Fantastic. And I can think of one, and that is the Mona practice. So you've heard me say a few times that I would like to carve a place in the week where I practice silence. Silence is Mona in Sanskrit. So if I could carve one more of those practices into my week, that would be amazing. Thank you for sharing everything that you're sharing here. It's beautiful. Mhm. Just look at some of these: connection, increase, improve my spiritual practices. Mm. Yeah, that is so funny. Yeah. We just have to we just have to laugh, because we never know what's happening around the next corner. Deepening connections. I struggle to encourage college students to see their studies as a learning journey rather than getting a piece of paper ASAP. I always found that hard. I was a teacher of many different levels of school, from elementary to college, and it's tough, right? Because when you're a student, there are these, and also when you're a teacher, this, and I, s- I still have one child at home, and how do I, how do I share this with her? Because a lot of students, younger students, they live, or the parents live for the report card. My ex-husband lives for the bleeping report card, which to me means nothing. Nothing. I want a happy, healthy child who builds skills and learns about how to be in life and manage life. And, there's certain, commitment and follow through are important. Um, but it doesn't matter in the end if you get a B or an A or a C minus. I could care less, as long as there was some, um, anyway, it's hard, Kyle, it really is. The journey is so important, and you never know what you're going to pick up along the way. But our society does place value on those results, and that's really unfortunate. If you want to do a master's program, you need really, really good marks. Or if you want to get into a specialty school of some sort, our society doesn't care if you have excellent community service, or you're, a special skill. You got to get good grades. You got to be in the 90th percentile. And you could be a bumbling social misfit who can't do the practical, but that's not what matters. So, yeah, maybe one day. And I'm sure there's schools that are shifting. There's got to be schools that are shifting, but it's really it's sad. Okay, number 30. Hmm. Isn't this a good question? So this is the prompt for yesterday. Why don't we all do this one? Because this is about unpacking. What should you leave behind in 2021? Unpacking is so important. Lightening the load. What should each of you, all of you in the chat, if you could name one thing that you would leave behind in 2021? And as I'm saying this, I'm racking my brain to think about what my one thing, if there was one thing I could leave. I can't wait to see your answers. Okay, so here we've got some of them coming up in the chat. Okay. Clevis, negative thoughts and criticism. Great. Let's throw that into the fire. Selena, regret. Andy, self-doubt. D, distrust and resentment. So what I would like each of you to do is to you either write this on a little piece of paper and burn it, or if it's somewhere where you can get into the ground, you could bury it and return it to the earth. You could write it on a rock, or you could just, you could just hold a piece of wood and put the energy into the wood and bury it. It's important to transform this energy. Julia, negative inner messages. Donna, worry, lack of trust in the divine to have it worked out. Kyle, Liz, fear. Mhm. And I still haven't given you mine. What should I leave behind in 2021? This is hard one for me. Mary Beth, reactivity. Right? Response versus reaction. Response versus reaction. What? So I think for me, and I was touching on this earlier, and it has to do with, I'm actually doing pretty good with this, but it's the overshooting. What I want to leave behind is overshooting. So instead of, I'll go back to this Shakti mantra that I wanted to learn last year. Over 100 slokas, right? So over 100 verses, and each of those verses have 6 or 7 lines. And that was one of my intentions for last year, right? So instead of, which is a laugh, right? It's a lot. So maybe that is a 3-year journey, but I don't even need to put a number on it. So I'm going to type it in. I'll type it into the chat, and I'm just going to say overshooting. And so I want to make my intentions little packages, just a little package, because then it's something I can work with and enjoy for a few days or a few weeks or a few months. So I think that's what I want to leave behind. I want to leave behind overshooting. And maybe there's a better word for that. If you can think of a better word, let me know. And then the final prompt is manifest. Manifest. And he says it feels like an act of self-care. Yeah, for sure. For sure it is. And that's a really good one as well too. And I also think another part of that, Donna and everyone in the chat, is that there's this balance between the process, the journey of what's going on with all of the people that I work with. So individual clients who I see here, and all of you who are in my classes and courses and so forth, and the series that I'm carrying on. And then there's my own spiritual work, right? My own journey, my own process beyond all of that. And so that's where the time and the little packages need to be more serious. Yeah. So, what will you manifest in 2022? What will you manifest in 2022? And again, it could be something um, that is very close. It could be something that you've always wanted to do, or it could be. I think for me, I've never walked any portion of the Camino. And I think what I'm going to manifest in 2022 is the find the partner who wants to do it, and the do some more research about which part of the Camino that I want to do. But I feel like in 2022 the plan will be secured, and the finances will be there. And this is not something I want to just take 2 weeks, right? I want to take a month off at least and do this. So I feel like in 2022, I'll manifest the entire logistics of it. Yeah. 2023 is going to be the retreat in Maui with Jonathan and Amber and Betsy. So 2023 might be a really big year. I may be going to Spain and doing this retreat in Maui as well too. So who knows? Yeah. What will you manifest? Let me go to the chat. D is going to manifest joy. Clevis wants to do the Camino too. And Clevis will manifest an organized and uncluttered house. Beautiful. Grace, gratitude, and forgiveness. Beautiful. I love those words. I think those are really beautiful words to end on. Aren't those gorgeous words? Grace, gratitude, and forgiveness. Julia is going to manifest spending time with the things and people that are important and not so much of the other stuff. Lovely. Peace. I think I started with peace. We can sandwich this whole thing with peace. Elena's here. Hello, Elena. Clarity of mind and devotion to freedom. You know, Elena, one of the things I found is if you can find a mantra that, for me, they're traditional Sanskrit mantras. But if you can find a mantra or a song that you do every day, multiple times a day, it it can really help, because the devotional experience with chanting mantra, or perhaps it's a spiritual song, it just fills your body, it fills your soul, it fills your spirit. So it's a wonderful path into that. I'd like to peel away layers of resistance that life has formed around me and return to a place of peace. More beautiful words. Happy New Year, Joseph. For Mary Beth, it's positivity and serenity. And for Andy, happiness and success. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, lovely souls, I'm going to sign off, and I will be back in about 15 minutes or so for the prompts for Kwanzaa, day 4, which is focusing on business, and so growth of projects, growth of business. So I hope I will see some of you in about 15 minutes time. I'll be right back. Just going to organize a few things here, and I'll see you soon. Namaste, and bright, bright blessings, warm hugs for the end of the year. And I'm going to be here just as much in 2022, and I so look forward to connecting with each and every one of you more. Thank you.